Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Muslim View. My name is Rania Saleh and I'm going to be your host today. Today we are recording our show from inside the London Islamic School. Since the beginning of October, students here have been actively raising money for the Syrian Refugee Fund to help sponsor Syrian refugee families to come to London. To make it fun and challenging, students have decided to take part at the Red Tape Challenge. This challenge was initiated by the London activist and the founder of the Jesse's Journey Foundation, John Davidson. Going into their 5th week, the students so far have raised more than half of their target, and they have about 6 more weeks to go. To acknowledge their effort and to encourage them to keep going, John Davidson is actually paying a visit to the school today and is going to give a speech to the students.
The meaning of cooperate is that it comes from the root help, but ta'awun means that it's reciprocated, meaning that we do it to one another. We help one another. Now, when we help one another, is it that we help one another in doing absolutely anything? No. Allah says, and He's very particular about what it is that we're supposed to cooperate and to help one another in. So first we understand, ta'awun means to help each other. But it's not about helping each other do anything. But there are things that are particular and specific. 2 things Allah mentions. Ta'awanu ala al-birr wa taqwa. Bir has to do with what? It has to do with being good, being kind, being gentle. It has to do with showing goodness or piety to someone else. That's what bir is.
It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. John Davidson this afternoon. He's well known in London for making a difference. I'm sure that a lot of people will recognize the face as well as the name. He founded Jesse's Journey in honor of his son Jesse. And this is a foundation that has contributed more than $6 million for research into Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So it's quite phenomenal the amount of money that has been raised. And Mr. Davidson has taken it upon himself now to spearhead the Red Tape Challenge. And this is something that we started right at the end of September. And I'm happy to be able to report that we've raised $3,500 toward a goal of $6,000. And so that, I think, is fabulous.
But when you cooperate, you can make some amazing things happen. And a lot of kids did a lot of things to help with Jesse's journey. When I pushed Jesse across Ontario, if you look on the map, it's a pretty big place. And it took us 124 days in a row of going 30 kilometers a day. Now sometimes kids will say to me, how long does that take, 124 days? Well, I'll show you. We started 1 month before school got out, and we were out there all summer long while you were on vacation. You went to the cottage, you went to the beach, you went to Grandma's house and had fun. And when you came back to school, we were still out there for 1 more month. And finally, we finished. And do you think we raised $100? Do you think we raised $1,000? Do you think we raised $1 million? What happened was, we raised $1.5 million and we gave it all to research. And then, I felt like Homer Simpson, because we gave it all away. And I went, no! The cupboard was bare. And I thought, we should build something that gives money to research.
We're going to go on a break now. We'll be back in a few minutes.
And then I got thinking this summer when I saw so many stories about people in real trouble. And I mean real trouble. When you go home today, you're going to have a lovely supper. You're going to have a nice warm bed to sleep in. You're going to have a roof over your house because your mom and dad make sure that that's what happens. And I was looking at people who don't have that, who don't know where they're going to sleep tonight, who don't know what they're going to have to eat next. And I thought we have to change that because Canadians are good at this. But we weren't being given enough of a chance. And if you look on a map, you'll see people from over here who are in real trouble. You'll see all of Europe over here where people were helping. Then there's a whole lot of water. And then you get way over here to Canada where people want to help, but nobody could get here because there was too much red tape. I think your teachers, based on what I see here, probably already explained what red tape is all about. It's where things get in the way when you're trying to do something, when you're cooperating with people and you still can't get your message across. So we wanted to find a way to show government that it's time to change. We understand a need to have some form of determining who's coming here. But please don't make that wall so high, so high that nobody can get over it and get to Canada. And this morning, I heard a lovely story. Because of things like the Red Tape Challenge and all the other projects where people are trying to help out, to help Syrian refugees, guess what's happening? I'll tell you. This is pretty amazing. This week, there's a family coming to Canada. Yeah, one of the first. They're coming to Prince Edward County. That's where Belleville is. If you look on the map, your teacher will show you where that is. And it's a family with not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, not nine, not 10. They have 11 children. Whoa! 11 kids who are going to have a home in Canada because people cooperated. And my idea with the Red Tape Challenge was to do something very simple. To make sure that we're ready when people start arriving. We've done this before, we can do this again, we can do it better. And I think it will happen. And I chose churches, mosques, synagogues, temples, anywhere where people gather in a group like that who want to see something happen. Another reason I picked them, because they got really big parking lots and there's more of them than Tim Hortons. And that makes a difference because people, even if they're not religious, even if they don't go to church of any kind, they can still make a donation, just drop it in the mailbox at that church and just mark it Syrian refugees. They'll know what to do with it. And we pick churches because they will be the first place that people come to. And it's churches and people like you, through your cooperation, who will see that there's education available, that there's art available so they can make face masks like these. You'll be making sure that there's furniture there for these people, that there's a home for those people, that there's an opportunity to learn English, to begin to understand what Canada is all about and to be part of that fabric, to learn what hockey is all about, to learn what going to school is all about when you can do it in comfort and safety and freedom. Those are very, very important things. And that's why the Red Tape Challenge exists. So I was asking people to get some red duct tape. Anybody here know what duct tape is? There you go. Well, they sell it in red. So you get a piece of duct tape and you rip it in half and you can put it on your car, you can put it on your bicycle, you can put it on your backpack, you can put it on your front door, you can put it around the tree in the front yard. If you live out in the country, put it on your mailbox. But just let people know that you have stood up, you're willing to be counted, and you're willing to make a difference, you're willing to cooperate with everybody else to make sure that the path is clear, that the road is open for these people to come to Canada. Come to Canada where we have so much, so very, very much, when others have so very little. So you've made a difference. You've made a difference right here, and I can tell you, I have a feeling in my heart, you're going to reach your goal, and you're going to do it very, very soon. And somewhere, there's somebody, a little boy, maybe like this little guy. A little girl, maybe like this little girl. They don't know you yet. They haven't met you. But what you're doing is providing an opportunity, because you've cooperated with one another, an opportunity for that family to get a new start in a new country and to become part of that country and contribute to that country. Because we need all the talent and all the help we can get. And you heard your imam talking today about helping one another to do good things. That's exactly what the Red Tape Challenge is all about. So I hope that you'll give that a thought. And if you have some ideas, share them with your teachers, because they want to see that red get higher and higher and higher. And when you do that, you're making a home and a new start for people who I'm sure, like you, will come to love Canada. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.
We're gonna go on a break now, and we'll be back in a few minutes to continue about our talk about the fundraising initiative at the London Islamic School. Would like to interview the principal of the London Islamic School, one of the teachers, and a few students to ask them some questions about the Red Tape Challenge. And now we have the principal of the London Islamic School, Mr. Nader. Thank you for being with us on the show.
Thank you for being here.
So, Mr. Nader, let me ask you this question. Why did your school decide to take part at this fundraising initiative?
Well, as an Islamic institution, it's incumbent upon us to be part of any initiative that helps Muslims and human beings wherever they are. So this is why we decided to be part of this initiative.
And what do you hope the students will learn from that?
Well, we always tell our students to be compassionate. So being part of this initiative will help advance this goal of the school, because compassion is the way to everything else. If you're not compassionate, then it doesn't matter who you are and where you are.
Well, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Nader.
Thank you for being here today, and thank you for the interest.
And now we have Miss Yasmin Kari, the JK teacher. Thank you to be on the show, Yasmin.
Thank you for having me.
So, Yasmin, we're going to ask you a few questions in regards to the Red Tape Challenge. Now, you are the JK teacher. You have children aging about 4 to 5. So it's kind of challenging to explain to those kids the cause behind this fundraiser. How do you explain that to them?
Well, we started out by, talking about, the things that we have and the things that we're fortunate to have, such as a home, food, clothing, and we related that to them and all the things that we are fortunate in having. And then we reflected on the kids that, are less fortunate around the world, such as the Syrians in the refugee camps that don't have a school to go to and don't have a home because it was destroyed, or, they don't have a mom or a dad. So they felt compassion and caring towards the less fortunate.
Do you know how much your class has raised so far?
We were so excited. I thought that it would start off slow, but, with the alhamdulillah, we were able to raise around $350, just our class. And just today we had a conversation about how we can, get more funds to help the Syrian refugees. And some of the kids were thinking of maybe having a bake sale or having some cookies or some chocolate lollipops that we can sell, throughout the community and help contribute even more.
That is amazing. So usually for these little kids, when you ask them to do something, they expect a reward. So how do you keep them, or are you going to get them stay engaged till the end of this fundraiser, or how do you going to encourage them to keep going?
Well, it's very important to instill empathy in a child. When they display empathy within themselves, then they are able to be more compassionate and caring to other people that are less fortunate. So I try to stay away from rewarding them. I want them to actually have that in their heart to give from their heart, because we are very lucky. We live in a country where we have so many things that we need to be thankful for, and just having that gratification inside of them that they're helping and making a difference in someone else's life.
So, Miss Yasmin, did you have a chance to talk with the kids about when a Syrian family actually comes here, how they can help this family in different ways?
Yes, we actually did have a conversation regarding that, and some of the kids were very excited in sharing what they would like to do when a Syrian family comes, and some of them want to offer their home, because they didn't have a home, and some of them want to, buy them clothes because they don't have enough to have clothes, and some of them want to even share their snacks and their food. So, and one child had said, because I had said, some of the kids aren't able to go to school, and we're very lucky here to have such a nice school at the London Islamic School. And imagine those kids who want to learn just like you. So one child had said, Miss Yasmin, I want to buy that child a backpack. And I was like surprised that, that thinking, for a 3-4-year-old to, think like that and, have such a big heart in helping these less fortunate people was very nice to hear.
These are actually beautiful feelings. Thank you so much, Miss Yasmin, for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
We're going to go on a break now. We'll be back in a moment. And now we're going to interview some of the students at the London Islamic School to ask them some questions about the Red Tape Challenge. We have a younger student here. What's your name?
Janine.
What grade are you?
Grade 2B.
Do you know how much your class has raised so far?
340.
Wow, that's a big amount. Are you guys motivated to keep going?
Yes.
And do you know why you guys are collecting the money for?
For the Syrian refugees.
That is great. Thank you so much, Janine.
Thank you.
Now we have 2 more students from the London Islamic School. What's your name?
Kadri.
And your name?
Anas.
And you guys are at grade
6.
And do you know how much your class has raised so far?
$302.
And do you know the cause behind this fundraiser?
We're sponsoring Syrian refugees to come to London, and we're happy to do this.
And why do you think your class is taking part at the Red Tape Challenge?
So we can help Syrian refugees.
And how do you feel taking part of this challenge?
I feel happy. I get good deeds, and I feel lucky to do this.
Well, you guys are doing an awesome job. Keep going, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
We got 2 more students from the London Islamic School. What's your name?
Amani.
What grade are you?
Grade 7.
And Amani, do you know how much your class has raised so far?
Yeah, around $204.
That's great. And do you feel motivated? Do you feel your classmates are motivated to keep going?
I think they are. Pretty much everybody has donated, and it feels great to be helping somebody else somewhere else.
That is great. And what's your name?
Azhar.
And what grade are you?
I'm in grade 8.
Now I know that your class and your teacher has put something together. Can you say what it is?
As a class, we created this big thermometer to keep track of how much money we raised and what our goal is.
And do you know what your goal is?
Our main goal is just to help the Syrian refugees come to Canada.
And how do you guys feel taking part at this fundraiser?
It feels great because we hear on the TV and the news what they're going through, and we really want to help.
And how do you feel taking part at this fundraiser?
Well, I just feel lucky that I'm privileged enough to even be able to give money.
Well, you guys are doing an awesome job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have with us Mr. John Davidson. Mr. Davidson is the founder of the Jesse's Journey Foundation and the author of the book, The Right Road. Hello, Mr. Davidson. Thank you for being with us on the show, The Muslim View.
My pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for having me.
So today you visited for the first time the London Islamic School. What was your experience today?
Well, I think it's always great to be where there are lots of kids and lots of excitement, and I know your message this month, the virtue you've been talking about is cooperation, and it's always great to see when kids want to cooperate, and they're all shooting by us right now, and they're being nice and quiet, so you can see they're cooperating very much, so they obviously got the message, and their teachers have done a good job in passing that on to them.
So, Mr. Davidson, you initiated several months ago the Red Tape Challenge. What was your hope behind this challenge?
Well, what I was trying to do is to get across the message that it's time to give Canadians an opportunity to do something that they want to do right now to make a difference in people's lives. And the Red Tape Challenge is pretty simple. I've asked people simply to, with the church that they belong to, or the synagogue or the mosque or wherever they may be, to go ahead and take some red tape, some red duct tape, which is very Canadian, and just rip that tape in half, put it on your backpack, put it on your car, put it on the tree in your front lawn, put it wherever you want where people will see it, and let people know that you have spoken with your heart, you've spoken with your wallet, and you're making a difference in helping those people who are in real trouble. And Canadians are good at stepping forward and helping people who have a real challenge in trying to find a safe, secure environment. And I think that we're going to see changes coming along very quickly now, and people will begin arriving here, and I'm sure they'll become part of the fabric of Canada, and that's good for all of us.
Well, Mr. Davidson, at the beginning I introduced you as the founder of the Jesse's Journey Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about this foundation?
Yes. My son Jesse had Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and a number of years ago I decided that what we really needed was research, and so Jesse and I set out across Ontario, and we raised about $1.5 million at that time, and then I decided that what we really need is an endowment that will fund research all the time. And in order to do that, I set out to walk across Canada, which was a challenge in itself. Not the Red Tape Challenge, but it was a big challenge. And we have since gone on to raise in total about $20 million since we started. And we're now able to give out what Jesse and I always dreamt about. We've been able to give out $1 million a year to fund research. We started that a long time ago when we first set out. That was our objective. And we're happy to have reached that first plateau, and we're just going to keep going from there because there's a lot of research that needs to be done.
That sounds great. Mr. Davidson, thank you for taking the time to be with us on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. It's always great to be here. As I said, where there's lots of kids, and I'm sure the audience can hear, there's lots of kids and lots of noise, so we hope you were able to hear our message as well.
Well, this is all for today. I hope you enjoyed our show today. Before we leave, I would like to invite you to the fundraising dinner hosted by the London Multicultural Community Association that's taking place on November the 14th at the Polish Club. Thank you so much.